Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Hey, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks everybody that views us. Don't forget to catch us every Friday at 7 p.m. on the Friday Fix and 1 p.m. Sunday on our Sunday Town Hall. Both are Pacific times. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today. Senior Wesley, how are you today? Actually, sorry, Wesley. I got to make sure. I don't want to get arrested.
You don't want to get deported, huh? Right about now. Anything they said there, anything goes about right now, man. I know you got a hell of a weird situation going on when it comes to a topic that we're going to talk about. We've talked about it before, but it's kind of gotten to the point now.
Yeah, to the point. Yeah. So Trump to use Alien Enemies Act to supercharge deportation and target gangs. President Donald Trump is preparing to invoke the 1798 Alien Enemies Act to speed up deportation as he makes good on his promise to target violent criminal offenders living illegally in the United States. Trump has repeatedly referenced using the law passed 277 years ago, which was previously been used to detain U.S. citizens of Japanese and German descent during World War II. In a chapter that has since been seen as deeply problematic, the law gives the president wartime powers to deport people without hearings if deemed necessary. Trump has specifically singled out Denver and neighboring suburbs Aurora as targets of the enhanced enforcements due to the presence of the Venezuelan gangs Tren de Arauco. Aurora city officials have downplayed Trump's concerns, but have acknowledged that the arrest of at least 8 known or suspected TDA members in the past year. So, and he said, hold on, as commander-in-chief, I have no higher responsibility than to defend our country from threats and invasion. And that is exactly what I'm going to do, Trump said during his January 20th inaugurational address.
Hey, threats and invasion. He's using this as it's almost like wartime powers that he's trying to use during times of peace, but he's going to use it as it's an invasion of these people right here, like we've been invaded by. You know what I mean? And his people will go for it too. They've been pretty staunch, but a lot. I mean, honestly, I'm on all these different political sites on Facebook and things like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking to people, and it's like racism. Not all of them. I'm gonna say about 60% of them. That it's like the racist side of them tends to kind of leak out when you're talking to them. The subjects are really about this. The other 40% actually have legitimate points. You know what I mean? They actually have points that they make where we can go back and forth, and then we can kind of deal with it that way. But it's like with this right here, he's basically saying to you, I'm going to use an old law to act like we're being invaded so I can start putting people in internment camps. I'm wondering, like, how well did that work out for you over when you sent everybody to Gitmo? That's pretty much an internment camp.
Well, this one will be different. See, because when they enact that law, they don't have to. They said they can hold you without court hearings or charges, right? They can just round up anybody after that. Hey, if somebody like AOC's out there saying, hey, they can't do this, can't do that. Well, how do I know if you're a citizen or not? You got to prove it while you're in jail and you're locked up and you can't make phone calls.
Figure it out.
This is not part of the end game, but it's an easier way for them because I know his numbers are embarrassing. I know you have it right there. We're going to talk about it. Mm-hmm. But like for them, look, they don't have to ask you questions no more. They can just pull you out. Oh, in Aurora or not even Ohio, bro, they got the Haitians, right? Mm-hmm. And they're about to leave. So they go to Ohio, they can just go into a black neighborhood and be like, you're all Haitian, you're all Jamaican. Let's go.
Yep.
Hey, they go to Texas and be like, oh, you're all Hispanic. Let's go. Everybody but the European Americans can be held without charges or without reason. This is his Gestapo's.
And they can also get the European Americans as well and hit them with for the people, anyone who's helping. Yep. Oh, you want to help them? Oh, let's go ahead and round you up. Let's see where you from as well. Let's go ahead and put you over here. But they're not going to do that to them as much. We know how it goes. They're going to be very peaceable with them, just like with the protest today they had over at the Trump Tower. They got them all on buses, real nice. It wasn't nobody getting jammed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's too many cameras.
And plus, there wasn't just that was too many cameras. They don't care if they say there was some teenagers or some younger kids or some people of color. They wouldn't care. These were older white Jewish people. They were not about to. They won't say white. They were Jewish people. Let's leave it at that. You know what I mean? But yeah, they don't. At the end of the day, man, I feel like we're putting ourselves in a very negative situation. We're not seeing the gravity of what's really going on. Like, our country needs immigrants. I mean, a heavy dose of immigrants.
Not no more.
the regular American citizens, we produce at a 1.6 rate per every 2 Americans. For every couple that you run into, they're producing about 1.6 kids. You have to produce 2.25 in order to grow your base of grow your population. We don't do that, and basically we'd have a declining population rate without immigrants, a heavy dose of them. That's what keeps us growing. Like we really look. There was a graph that I saw that said last year 35 million new people were born. I mean, above deaths were born on the continent of Africa. In this country, we had like 4.2 or 4.5, which was more than like South Africa. I mean, South America and other places like that. But it was like Asia had a nice a rate of growth as well, but Europe had a declining rate. The reason why we don't have one is because the population from Mexico, people like that, they say it keeps us young. Like Ross Perot Jr. said it best. He's like, Mexico is what keeps us young. It's what keeps us to the point where we'll have Social Security when we get old enough to the point where Social Security is in our future. You know what I mean? So basically, we have to really look at the situation and pay attention to what we're doing. If you're telling people don't come here now and you're threatening that you're going to put them in jail, deport them, it's going to make people afraid to come here.
They don't care about none of that, though. That's the whole thing. I hear what you're saying, Wes, and it's logical. But to them, they don't want Mexicans and Africans and, Caribbean people coming here. They want Europeans to come here. But Europeans are like, I ain't going to come live with y'all crazy asses. And the people in Europe are having enough problems with immigration anyways. Look, what they want to do, they want to make America basically, 90% white again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So right now, they're going to round up everybody they can. Look, you see how they're doing. They're using violence and disease. You know what I'm saying? Measles is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy that there's an outbreak of measles just running through America
through America. It was gone. And then you get all these people, these parents that say, oh, I don't want to vaccinate my kids. And their kids are the ones getting sick and getting measles. And they're spreading it to everybody else. Look, folks, pay attention. They're going to pass this law. If you're working at a place, a shelter where they're sheltering migrants, you're going to jail. If you live next door to a migrant and you don't tell them that the migrant's there and they find the migrant, you're going to jail. If you're seen in a place like a nightclub and they arrest migrants, you're going to get arrested too. You won't be able to make a phone call. You won't be able to talk to nobody. This is what your reality is about to be. We need to stop looking at America how it used to be, and we need to accept what it is now.
Yeah, it definitely has changed a great deal. I mean, we've gotten to a point to where we don't, our neighbors are no longer like it's no longer like the Bible, which everyone pushes as this is a Christian nation. We don't believe in that anymore. It's like right now, what do they say? Honor thy neighbor, whatever. It's honor thy parents, but you know what I mean? Like treat your neighbor as whatever else. We don't do that. We don't even care about them anymore. We're angry. We're blaming them for the problems that are happening here in America. And it's not, I don't know any of us that have real issues based off of what is happening with a migrant.
A battle rapper said it recently. He said, my magazine's longer than the extended absence of Jesus during slavery. And I'll leave it at that.
Absolutely, man. Let me move on for another one.